So I was seeing a few of the podcasts that you've done, and on the news.
Should I leave?
Not yet. When we were growing up, astronaut, cricketer,
Really?
All that kind of fun stuff.
When I was growing up, it was like frauder, con man. Like I think India was in the 80s was a fantastic place.
What's the value of comedy in the news cycle?
Well, you're right. You're right, because this one gentleman destroyed the news in a sense and made it into a parody or a reverse parody. So what happens is now, how do we find comedy when he's funnier? For me, watching bowling, fast bowling, I think Wasim Akram, Malcolm Marshall, Curtly Ambrose, Bumrah.
Do you do any martial arts?
I did a thing called Ketsugo, which is 4 things together: Aikido, Taekwondo, Karate, and Samate. But there was no contact. I wanted contact. So I was psycho. And it was all like dancing at the end, because the fighting dancing and fighting are two different things.
Yeah.
It's almost like, so you're the fighting dancer, so you're very good if there's no fight.
Process,
guys, let me show you how to fight if there's no fight. But if there's a fight, you're the guy who wants to, maybe. I just want to do like every. You mentioned Hello Friends, which is an absolute tragedy, but that's fine.
I had not heard of it until I started research for this this conversation.
Yeah, David Schwimmer called. It was like, respect, man. And then he shot himself. No, that's Matthew Perry. Okay, take that back.
Today on the podcast, Wit Meets Wisdom, our guest today is a comedian, a VJ, a satirist, a TV show actor, and hosts one of India's oldest and funniest podcasts, Cyrus Says. Please welcome Cyrus Broacha. So I was seeing a few of the podcasts that you've done, and on the news.
Should I leave?
Not yet. Let me start, and then. But on the newest one, you were mentioning that there's sort of a overwhelming nature of the amount of podcasts and resolutions.
I mean, the government should ban it if they're paying attention. Tariffs and all is fine, but I'm just thinking that we have too many. Like, we have too many comedians. I mean, it's unbelievable.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome you to a podcast.
I'm going to start ranting in 5 minutes.
And this is very different, same as all the other ones, which are also very different.
Something to do on a Thursday.
Correct. But when you started in 2015, so it's been 10 years of your show.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. Oof.
What was the thought process then?
So there's this gentleman called, I have to answer this question quite often now. I think I should bring him along. Amit Doshi, whose idea it was, brainchild, came back from the States, blah, 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 tried different things. Looks a lot like a very famous, prominent Indian politician with the same name, but I won't mention in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
So, he met me at a place, what was it? Somewhere in Nariman Point. What is that damn coffee shop called?
Which one?
Starbucks.
Okay. Yeah.
Where the poor go in the west and the rich go in the east. You know how the world is. So we were there for something else, and he came and just approached me and said, could I have a word? And I said, okay. And he said, do you know what a podcast is? So of course, I'm a Leo, can't. I said, yeah, of course. I had no idea. Like zero. Not P in podcast. But I said, yeah, whatever. So he said, look, I'm very keen. I think you're the right person for it, because it's talk format and all. Let's have a proper meeting and let's talk. Are you interested? And that's how it just started. But I spent the rest of the evening trying to call people to ask them what the podcast is. It was like, I had no idea, honestly. And I didn't bother to Google. But then slowly we figured out it's some sort of radio-like thingy. Yeah. It was supposed to be audio.
Correct.
The whole idea is if you don't have the looks, this is the place to be.
Correct.
And then they put video and pressure on all of us.
Been on video before, obviously. So it's not the same pressure the rest of us face.
Well, I just say, when we started, it was audio. I'm just saying it was, look how casually, I had no idea you'd be slightly formally dressed. I just thought most of it is a very casual style, so which I'm very happy with. But with audio, you don't even care. You can literally, come hungover or whatever from an airport and whatever and just start talking. But with the moment it goes into video, somebody will come and want to do makeup, or your hair is not looking good, your shirt is terrible, or it says the wrong message. Oh, by the way, you've got some 400 people working here.
That's just to ensure we have 400 views, because otherwise that becomes difficult.
I thought maybe they owe you money or something. You say, boys, come here, watch the podcast.
Not yet.
All of them are on their phone. This is the other thing about technicians today.
Yeah.
When we used to work in the 90s, in the beginning and all, I remember some of the programming, they're all very alert till the program starts, right? Or the shoot or the shot happens. And then they sort of lose interest. But they still have to pay attention because there's nothing to do. But now everyone's on their phone the moment we start.
But honestly, and I don't know how you see podcasts, but I see quite a few podcasts that I try to. It's still primarily an audio medium. Like it's just on. You just feel happy there's a company that's sort of on your TV, but at least the way
Or
I
even
see it,
in the car, for example.
correct.
It's not advisable to watch while you're driving, but it's there. It's that friendly. People are chatting and you're driving and doing your thing. So it's got that semi-passive tone to it.
And when you've done all the stuff you've done, right? So VJing and Bakra and then the Friends.
Don't make it sound like a lot.
It is a lot.
I should have done my LLB. I still regret it. Yeah.
When did you leave law?
1 year. And then
took me 2.
You're a me too.
But
so you're 1 year LLB?
2 years.
2 years LLB.
I did the 3. You
It's
get a BSc in law.
It was 3. Oh, is it?
You get so 2 years. If you do 2 years, you get a BSc in law.
Not a BA.
And then if you want the LLB, you need to do the 3rd year.
Right. Oops. I forgot everything.
Yeah.
So I did 1 year, and then I remember I got stuck somewhere with MTV, and I couldn't come back for the exams. And to cut a long story short, I joined KC because back in the old days in southern Mumbai, KC Law, and the guy was the peon who ran the...
I'm KC Law as well.
Cheers! So there was this peon whose name I forget, and if he's watching the program, I love him so much, I'd like to give him a hug and a kiss. So he told me, beta, कोई टेंशन मत लो, मैं करता सब सेटिंग. आप सिर्फ पढ़ाई करो और फाइनल्स के लिए आ जाओ, बस मैं करता. And then he spat in true KC fashion. It was lovely, yeah. And I was so happy, so I'd keep the seat. I actually attended a couple of classes and all that. And then again, the work became too much, missed this, missed that, and then lost interest, honestly.
So I came in to KC Law with not very good grades in my undergrad. So I went to the States for my undergrad. My grades weren't great. I was not a big believer in opening.
There was no that CLAT or ELAT or whatever. There was no conversion exam which you have to do. Entrance.
No. And I just about cleared the actual exam. So doing like another exam.
Fair.
But I took the first year very seriously because I felt bad, and my dad is like, "This is your grade." I'm like, "Okay, no, I will." So I attended an insane amount of KC Law for the first year. But then you learn by the time the second year comes.
It all depends on what you're doing outside the law college. Some people, that's it. This is their job for life. And that's different. When you're distracted and doing anything else, then you start getting tired to go back. And I had early morning classes and all that. Those were different days.
Was law something that you did because you wanted to do it? Or?
No, my father, grandfather and great-grandfather were all lawyers. So that was the option.
Okay.
And so it was a fallback plan. I was doing my theatre and I had joined advertising for a little while. Then I went to Strasbourg. So while I was doing all this experimenting, there was always the plan was a backup
law.
Middle class mentality. You have to have something. So the law was the thingy. And I would have done it. Honestly, I would have completed it. It wasn't really a big issue. But I just, geographically, I wasn't there. And then because you miss one thing and then you miss the other thing and then it just adds up. And then, I don't know now. I regret it a lot. I don't have a job. It's so embarrassing for my kids to tell them, what does your dad do? Or nothing. He wears short pants and walks dogs.
Yes and no. Because if you look at the studies, the number one... So when we were growing up, astronaut, cricketer,
really?
All that kind of fun stuff.
When I was growing up, it was like frauder, con man. Like I think India was in the 80s was a fantastic place.
And
we had a lot more scams.
And the movies glorified it. And so you had that because all the...
And the movies were too anti-rich. Thank God for OTT.
Correct. So all the heroes were anti-establishment.
It's a one-sided story. Poor can't always be right. Someone has to redress this.
Sitting where we are sitting, I think maybe not the right...
Everybody's got a lobby. So I think we have to cling to your lobby. No? People hide behind religion and caste and this. And why not class also? No? Why not wealth or whatever?
It'll come.
I'm sure it'll come. I believe it'll be divided between left-handers and right-handers one day. We'll find reasons. So go as low as that.
We won't reach there. I think the reasons before that will be good enough.
Will wipe us out.
Wipe us out. We're close. When you moved into VJing, when you moved into theatre, is theatre still the first option?
So theatre I was doing from the age of 14, right? So it was almost like an accident. So while that was happening, no one took it seriously in terms of money, right? So we did that, but everybody had jobs who were performing as well. Most of them were in advertising, some had businesses. Ronnie Screwballa, for example, became really famous. But theatre didn't pay his bills.
Yeah.
There's so many names, I won't take all of them and bore you. So that was always there. But from there, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't do the other things we landed up doing. So voiceovers was the next thing I did. Then radio in 1993 was reborn as a free enterprise for about 2 hours in the morning. So I was working with Radio Star. There was one slot. And then to cut a long story short, then the music channels came about, and then post that, whatever you could do. And then you mentioned Hello Friends, which is an absolute tragedy, but that's fine.
So the episodes are on YouTube.
Apparently, during the pandemic.
I had not heard of it until I started research for this this conversation.
David Schwimmer called. It was like, respect, man. And then he shot himself. No, that's Matthew Perry. Okay, take that back.
I tried to get through the
It was
first
terrible.
two
I mean,
episodes.
again, I've answered this 200 times. I was the only one who's answering. The others didn't take calls. I think the shame was too much. Basically, the gentleman called Ajit Pal who did it, I think his idea was correct. But in the 90s, late 90s, 99 actually, we would just take American sitcoms and just translate them. And you can't quite do that because the cheekiness and the reverence of the American sitcom doesn't sometimes work with the Sanskriti and Parampara of India. And then, so this guy was, like the first episode, I keep telling you about it, the first episode is based on a very simple premise. Back in 99, forget woke culture, where Schwimmer's character's wife leaves him for another woman. Hence humor. Our director said, we can't have that. It has to be another man. So where's the humor? There's nothing uniquely different in that. It's just sad. So, I mean, I was trying to explain to you, but now there's nothing we can spin off. All the jokes are spun off the fact that, they all react to this exact thing. And that's half the episode.
But, so that was actually the question I was going to ask you. One is, obviously, the show is what it is, and everyone is, people who've seen it have seen it. Do you think it was just early? So do you think we're 15 years behind? So would that show be a lot funnier in India today? I mean, it is doing really well on Netflix and stuff.
No, the thing is that, firstly, there'll be a legal angle to it now. You can't just do that anymore.
Oh, this wasn't like an official...
No, of course not. 100% no. I mean, you can't, you just do anything with the script. It's no. There was a Three's Company spin-off my friend Kunal was in called Baat Ban Jaye. Okay, they did a little better writing, I would think.
And that show did better.
It did much better. They had a few seasons. And but everyone was just taking and doing. And now they won't be able to do that. Secondly, if you want to change something and localize it, then it's a proper job. Okay, when you localize it, the customs and subcultures of that particular area you're shooting in or talking to, or the people you're talking to, etc. In India at that time, we didn't have so many people rooming together, cross-gender, that kind of relationship. So in any case, you're sort of raising the bar there. So I think it's a whole science to doing that.
Should it have been easier to do comedy now as people have evolved and sort of become more Western in their tastes? And then why isn't it as easy to do comedy?
To be honest, mine again is a tale of accidents all the time. My whole life, probably my mom, the birth was an accident. I have to check with her. So you know what happens when you're working in MTV? Everybody is very serious. Okay, I'm not particularly gifted with fashion, aesthetics, and those kind of things. I have no interest in pop culture, never had. So after some time, you can't, you're doing it on an everyday basis. I just want to be myself. So I just it's easy to be yourself. There's no work, and out of sheer laziness, that's what I did. But the others were, they're all taking it very seriously. Again, without taking names, they would write scripts, read the script, research. The way I looked at it is, you're here because you can't do anything else. Okay.
Sure.
Otherwise, do aeronautical science, or become an engineer, do a double MBA, or write a PhD on some cure cancer. This is silly, irreverent, stupid escapism with pop music in the background, and just having fun. So I just stuck to that. So it was easy to do that because everybody else was taking it too seriously. That's what I felt. Then slowly it became a little bit of a headache because people started taking comedy seriously. And then you have this whole factory of young comics and people coming to your airports and saying, will you watch my stand-up and can you help me and all that. And I can't help anyone. Honestly, I can't get you a table in any restaurant. I can't get you parking anywhere in South Mumbai.
But you said, so there is, in so many ways, the comedy culture is exploding. Is that something you feel like proud of? Is that something you feel like that is something you guys started in that era and then it's continuing?
I don't think it's fair for us to take claim and say that we originated this whole thing. I just think India is growing very quickly, and the younger generations are far more, if you like, aggressive in some ways, and they're just taking control of their destiny in a sense, and the internet has allowed them to do that. You can now project yourself. You don't have to wait for your dad to make a phone call to get you a job, etc., etc. So that's one of the things. Secondly, they have so many role models in all the different languages in the West, across the world, and all that's just, I think globally there's been a movement for people to express themselves more in comedy and in other ways as well. Sometimes by joining terrorist fringe groups, don't do that. Not a good idea.
In the clashes between the comedians and the audience, that's what I find fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I know, and this is a good time because the last 6-8 months have had a lot of kind of and obviously I think people find it easier to blame the courts and the government, and I've always felt it's an audience issue. I just would love to hear your take on whether the entirety of India is sort of mature enough.
So people will say that a lot, but I think it's all specific. There's specificity to everything. So we'll have to look at each case differently. By and large, the way I've seen it is too much psychophancy in India,
Mhm.
which is actually more funny than the comedy. And what happens is very often they react
Correct.
in the case, and
Yeah.
they will react like premature ejaculation,
Mhm.
and it's out before you can say anything. Mostly they haven't seen it or actually heard it or
Yeah.
just heard a clip or
It's
whatever
just panic.
and just panicked.
Yeah.
And then, the things don't make sense because you break buildings or you tear seats
Yeah.
or the road, or you start hitting, I don't know, somebody standing outside who's selling bail. So, there's nothing to it. So I think that psychophancy is something which we have to address, which is causing the violence and the whatever. If you talk about being intolerant and stuff, I think there has to be a line where people, you have the right to offend and to be offended, and you can have a to and fro, and you can, do whatever you want. But I'm just saying that going into the violent extremes where a guy has to run to Pondicherry or wherever to survive is a little unnecessary.
I think
you can't justify that.
you can't, because it's unjustifiable.
It's just unjustifiable. Then we can have the conversation about what was right or wrong.
The pre-violence thing is where it gets interesting, because
But walk out. If it's not for you, like, should we name Ranveer and Samay? We shouldn't. But in that case, whatever he said, Ranveer, whatever he said and whatever in that show is for a certain audience. It's a rip-off of that other American show, whatever the guy's name will come back to me, where they just roast, right? And they take it to another level. Ours was still not yet there. It's full of sexual double entendre and worse and imagery and graphic, whatever. The point is, why is uncle watching it? The building uncle shouldn't watch it. It's not for him. That's another thing. Should it be out there? But it's the internet.
And you can shut it off.
Shut it off. Why are you endorsing it? Don't look at it. Don't comment on it. Just leave it. It's not your business. It's for a certain age or for a certain audience. And that's the way I see it.
That clash between the...
I mean, there are lots of Hindi films I've seen where I couldn't bear them, for example. Or, there's a lot of Indian art I can't bear, for example. But it doesn't have to be pornography for you not to like it,
Correct.
I mean, you're a builder. A lot of buildings I don't like.
Correct.
Have you built anything in Palm Beach?
Not yet.
Thank God. Oh, but that's a horrible place to go to. It's just not good.
On a design standpoint?
Yes, design.
Yeah.
Brother, I don't understand what happened there. It's like some rich kid was given a paintbrush and, okay, just do what you want. Acha, to ye blue mein karta hai. Oh, ye neela, or fir ye green. And I mean, just do what they want. There's just no uniformity or there's no... how do we get there?
Peacocking is a very critical part of a lot of businesses. Right?
Yeah.
So,
just be loud.
Can't...
Which is also the internet, by the way.
I think even in those comedy specials, right, it's always that one line, or it's always like that panic that ensues because something is perceived to be...
Yeah, but you can't have it both ways, right? Do we have freedom of expression? If we have freedom of expression, do we draw a line and then you have a menu card saying this is what you're allowed, not allowed? I mean, it's a little tough there. No, we are a democracy for all practical purposes. And
so two things. And I'm sure you are, being a comedian, but I think in general I am always militantly pro freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Except I think sometimes South Bombay or the affluent get a little confused between our laws and American laws. And so our laws...
Well, American laws are changing as we speak.
So that's a whole different... but our laws don't technically have the kind of First Amendment right.
True. Not where people
and in fact
die by their sword.
In fact, the other liberal countries we love are even worse than us in many ways. So Europe is a very interesting case on freedom of expression as well, because there's if you read up about it. So that's a question I've always kind of, just from a structural standpoint, found interesting, which is, do we actually have freedom? Like, what is the freedom of expression?
So do we have, or should we have, two different things?
Two different things. And what is it that we actually have?
Do we have, this country always goes one step forward, one step backward at the same time. So it's really difficult to explain. But the point of the matter is that freedom of expression is such a grey area, right?
Correct.
Because you can't do gods, you can't do religion. So you can't do sexual imagery, you can't do casteism, communalism, or whatever the prejudice. There's a lot of, the rules and regulations, at the end there isn't any. But comedy is all about actually taking on things that, are like sacred cows. And forgive my phrase.
When you discuss internally, like I've always found, I love comedy, see a lot of comedy specials, try to catch the thought behind it, the podcast behind it. Right? And kind of a theme that kind of keeps coming back to me is the comedians in general would love to push the boundaries or kind of figure out what the boundaries are. So in that process, you are going to tend to cross it once in a while.
For me, it's like eating in a restaurant. You don't like it, just don't eat it again. Just leave it. That's it. I don't see why there are more important things than a comedian's art destroying somebody's peace of mind, I would think. I think we give it too much. For some reason, governance is... I think it's questionable when that becomes a huge issue for you, and teams of policemen and media, and then money spent on courts. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And in a lot of my conversations, they know that.
Yeah,
So it's all theatre.
it's all exactly that.
A lot of it, unfortunately, is theatre. But when you guys were doing comedy for the first time, when you guys were doing Bakra, you've obviously done Week that wasn't for a long time. Was your nature to not have the kind of comedy that will get you in trouble, or you guys had to cut down on a lot?
Let's Bakra. Firstly, we had no idea what we were doing, and we had no idea that we couldn't do this. What we did then, we can't do now, because now the laws are much. You can't just be on the road running around. Somebody will catch you. I think once or twice you had to pay some money to a cop van that was passing to let us continue shooting. They didn't even ask us too many questions. So it was a different world altogether. We had a Japanese crew that came down and borrowed some of our Bakras to play in Japan with dubbing and all that. So they interviewed me through an interpreter and all that. And the main thing I got is they're not really fond of our Bakras. They are amazed that there exists a country or a city where a man can walk around in a police uniform and nobody questions him, or dress like two thugs and stop a car and take somebody out of it and all. It's all it's reality TV, but I mean nobody because in Japan I presume you can't the law is so tight that you take one step this way or that and there'll be a picture.
That's why they have Takeshi's Castle.
There you go.
How did the concept come about?
Again, that was like a mistake. So the boys like to smoke, and we were shooting a thing called Loveline, MTV show, in a small studio called CMM here in Worli, not too far away, but 10 minutes from here, Glaxo Lane. So they won't let them smoke. I didn't smoke, but so just to kill time, because we were a small crew, I'd go down with them because they would take 20 minutes break and eat vada pav and all that.
Yeah.
So while they were doing that, we just started fooling around with people who were passing. They're all from outside Mumbai. So I would just tell them what we do to kill time when we were in college. We stop a cab. The cab is going fast. He's like, taxi! Time kya hai? So after doing 2-3 of them and just irritating the cabbie, somebody said, let's shoot it. The cameras are with us. So we shot it. Just for ourselves, for fun. Yeah. So that was left on the tape for some reason. So when the boring Loveline show was watched by whoever, they reached the end of the tape and saw this and they all started laughing and enjoying it. So my executive producer called me the next day and said, what did you all do? It sounds like fun. And it was supposed to be only on taxis. And this is all my elite issues, taxis, rickshaw drivers.
No. My favorite one was in college. My favorite one was Andheri Jayega. So jao na, yahan kya kar rahe ho?
All that, exactly. So we did the whole medley of that we did for all these boys from different states who were working for us. And that was it. Sometimes it's ridiculous how these things are born out of
and
what.
So it wasn't based on candid camera. It wasn't based
No. There was no... Who knew anything about candid camera? In fact, MTV Punk came out of Bakra. Because when my boss presented it in Florida in the big meeting, they loved it. Okay, because they could follow. There's not language issue really. You could follow what's happening. It was action driven. And they loved the idea. And they developed Punk from it. So, I mean, me and Vasant Valsan, who honestly developed the project, we should be given copyright for that. I mean, MTV, does this go to MTV US?
I don't know. I think this is the only viewers we're going to get. So, I don't know how many.
Oh, damn. Can you make a call? You're a big shot.
I got you here. That's the height of...
Between you and me, we got 3 years of LLB. Yeah? We can take these guys on. Take their pants off.
We should be okay.
But no copyright. That's another story. No copyright even for Week That Wasn't. I've just started News Caustic, which is again a political satire show on News 9. We'll go on air on this.
Is it started?
Yeah, so Friday at 11 p.m. What's the date?
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I suppose.
Today is the...
tomorrow. So tomorrow 11 p.m.
11th,
We just shot it. Anyway, to cut along story, there's no copyright. So we don't own anything. That's a big issue. Yeah.
I'm assuming MTV owns it.
MTV owned that. CNN, IBN owned the other one. And now this TV9, we're still negotiating who owns what. But that's a bit of a headache, I think in the West, that's a little more easy to do for the artist.
Yeah.
You're definitely either it's divided or he owns everything or percentage goes to the platform. But whatever. You're not a lawyer anymore.
I was never a lawyer.
No.
I
only came here for that, some advice.
And I was going to say, if just doing the 3 years made you a lawyer, I think...
I know. I hate to. I mean, it's really sad. But do you remember when we were a lot younger, if you just look around, many of these guys are outside the High Court, outside St. Xavier's College and all, looking around for clients to do anything. Because it's a really hard grind after getting an LLB if you don't have...
Unfortunately, the education doesn't prepare you for the job.
Or there's no steps to get a job actually because it's very cutthroat and
all of that. And the other issue is...
You got to have some networking in India. It doesn't work. It's tough.
And there's no solution to the... I think to the major issue, assuming people are coming here to figure out our calls on Indian education weaknesses.
We should be allowed to. We just spoke about freedom of expression. You never look. Some of the best gags I've done in Bakra were given to me by crew. You know, some joker, one of the spot boy would say something. You know, okay, let's try it this way. And people have ideas. Don't negate that.
And so
I think a country could be run by just anybody. Sometimes I think, you know, not just ours, everybody's. I mean, look at what's happening in Nepal. Watch it.
I am going to stay clear of that specific topic, but and I think when we have the South Bombay education discussion, I think that the challenge is in the discrepancy of the fees being charged. So fundamentally, when you compare Harvard Law and you're paying 4 crores or 3 crores or 2 crores a year, whatever it is, versus even at my time, I think KC I did it in 13, was under a lakh.
It's more now, and the specialized law colleges are definitely more. So from our side of the woods, definitely it's decent, you know, pricing for education. But I don't think you could match it with the Ivy League college.
I think it's just fundamentally there's a gap in scale. Like Harvard's endowment is $50 billion.
But Uncle Sam puts his hand out.
Or takes it back now.
Uncle Samir here, I'm not sure.
So I think that's unfortunately the guys don't come out prepared at all. And then because there's so much competition.
See, now this is a tough one. Now we're getting all socialist in our philosophy here. But are we supposed to pave the way, the bridge between getting an education and getting a chance at a job? See, that's a huge different story altogether. Because people think once you got the MBA, you're home and dry, but that doesn't always happen.
I think the other thing culturally, and this is I think the hardest thing, is that the reverence that job creators get in America. And I don't think any other country in the world gives that reverence to people that create jobs. Because by definition, I think if you create enough jobs, you will have people that take advantage, that are shady, that do things that are not accepted. But in general, you'd rather have more jobs than less jobs. I think that's with the amount of people we have.
There's always Steve Jobs. Sorry.
There was always Steve Jobs.
Well, in a way, there always is.
I fundamentally believe we have a democracy. And so almost everyone...
No, I think we are a democracy. Look, just look at what's happening in Nepal or Bangladesh or Pakistan for that matter.
All our neighbors.
All our neighbors. Myanmar. So, I mean, you put it all together and look, we are a democracy. The point is, the quality of the democracy has to get better. That's the only thing.
That's the quality.
But if you look back in how many, 78 odd years, it's not the worst story.
In fact, I would contend there has never been a more successful democracy.
In some ways, yes.
In all ways.
The chance of revolution, bloodbaths, there have been some, but
because,
compared to the rest of the world,
I think a lot of the really successful democracies are smaller.
We can't compare with the 5 million like Singapore or whatever.
Impossible.
I mean, or New Zealand,
or like Sweden, or
that's another. I mean, that's unfair.
And the one democracy everyone keeps bringing up, which is America. Actually, most of the Americans weren't allowed to vote.
Oh, they've had this. Look at the problems they have right now.
But that's one. But
democracy is a work in progress across the world.
But because America's really only had democracy for 50, 60 years.
If you want to put it that way.
Because in the original American democracy...
You're talking about civil rights movement onwards.
Even before, so the original American democracy, only landowners were allowed to vote.
Right.
And that's actually why the Civil War happened. Because whites weren't getting enough jobs. And then obviously colored people weren't allowed to vote. Women weren't allowed to vote. So really, they've only had democracy.
One war over the black movement, and the next war over the Mexican movement. That's where they're going.
Well, now everyone will be allowed to vote. But I think their democracy is almost as young as our democracy, give or take 15 years.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, all said and done, the rule of law is a little more prevalent there. So what happens is, in terms of freedom of expression, etc., you have a better chance at the moment.
But they're catching up.
But they're retarding.
They're catching up.
Yeah, they're regressing, going the other direction. And I'm hoping we are going in the right direction.
In general, I think we're doing fine.
See, we can't complain. As comedians also, I try to, when people get this thing, there are two sides to it. And one is, you have to be as innovative and creative as you can be without being personal. But once you become personal, then the other person wants to talk back. And if they have power, they're going to hit you. So from a logistical point of view, you have to be careful. It's like you don't go and poke the bear literally, right? Because he's a bear. But there's got to be a way to be creative. And
how careful were you in doing the week that wasn't?
So, we didn't really have we didn't censor ourselves too much. First it was in English, so I think nobody really cared. We tried it in Hindi for 6 months and then we had to pull out also. But again, psycho fans writing, trolling you and all that. Nothing direct. Now, we have got a couple of direct things, but we've also got a lot of praise and support from members of parliament and powerful figures. And also, it was okay. We try to stay with the issues and try not to get into the person. And it's very easy to, switch from just talking about, is it right for us to trade with China? And then to actually talk about the ex-politician being a scummy person and all, it goes in another direction altogether. So if the way I look at it, we're just looking at the politics. Like, it's easy to make fun of Donald Trump, call him Orange Man and this and that.
Yeah.
But that's because it's gone from we're talking about what he's doing wrong and making fun of the fact that he can't put a sentence together. So it's sort of, it goes into that personal speak. And once you cross that personal speak, that's when the trouble starts.
So did you actively avoid, was the team working to avoid personal speak? Like, was that and is that something that
No,
you find?
actually not.
Okay.
I mean, Kunal used to play Namo as a character very well, not a problem. All the chief ministers, prominent ones were, used, or if somebody was in the news, that's why we would do them. Accents, horrible use of accents across the south. Just get trolled because his use of accents was really wrong. Telangana was divided into very different areas, different ways of speaking.
Yeah.
You can't confuse it with, say, Tamil Nadu, and which again has different dialects and all that. It's not easy. But, absurd third world acting performance, we, would do all that. We got away with that. So it's all good.
And the new show?
So the new show is less skits and less acting and more me talking. So hopefully, and I talk really fast like I do now. So you probably won't remember. So it's all good. But again, I'm saying we just, what did we shoot just now? We couldn't avoid Nepal and things like that. We talk about these kind of things. So, I mean, you get into it. Whatever's there that week, you have to get into it. You can't not Asia Cup. No, so there's softer stuff and there's tougher stuff, and you have to mix.
When I grew up, actually, a lot of my news watching came from the Daily Show and the Bombay Report.
So that was the standard we were told in 2006 when we started. And I mean, he's returned, all said and done. So that's there. So I guess you can't escape that. I mean, the Americanization of all of us, it's like
what's the value of comedy in the news cycle? So
well, you're right. You're right, because this one gentleman destroyed the news in a sense and made it into a parody or a reverse parody. So what happens is now, how do we find comedy when he's funnier? Because he would present the news with a judgment first and then a conversation. But normally it would be a conversation leading to a judgment.
One of my favorite things to see on the internet is when the Onion article of 10 years ago is the headline today. And that's almost the case with how the news is run.
True.
But again, and I keep coming back to this, right? It's the democracy, the TRPs, they're a function of what people are viewing. Like, it's a lot of it is just a function of demand.
So you're saying the market will tell you what to do.
I think we're an immature market.
Or you vote the people that you deserve in that sense, or you...
They are the people. It's not the people, they're you.
Yeah,
right? In many ways, because I know...
So I just did an event with Milind Devra, for example. I absolutely, endorsed him. Because and my point was that, because I identify with Milind Devra. All said and done, because in different lobbies of India, you identify, maybe you're a farmer from a certain area, and that's the reason why you identify with whatever. So this is a guy that I can say, okay, he's like me. His background is like me. He's,
I think what people haven't realized is that the social media, the need to have that 2 minutes, even for a politician. I think all that, you need attention. And so much of it is attention grabbing, that if you meet... because I know a lot of the people from when they're corporators and they win and they become whatever, right? And if you listen to any description of the President of America, if you listen to anybody's individual interactions with President Trump, it's all praise. And then the persona is very different.
Well,
and so I think that is the case everywhere, because you are performing. I think so much of daily
what
life
I like about President Trump, now that you bring it up, is the fact that his confidence is so wonderful that you start believing your own myth.
Correct.
So like, he solved India-Pakistan. He did it. Done. Ukraine, 2 more days. Over. It's like that. Wherever there's angst or problems, I just raise tariffs and they'll come to the party. But it's fabulous that you can be like that and be a world leader.
But the issues are real. I think that's what a lot of people... So you should not make... If you take the issues unseriously, I think that's when the mess up happens. And I think it's the same. And if you look at Nepal, right, they banned social media. And that,
Well, no, before, let's also understand that they shot a lot of students.
Correct.
Without taking sides here, because we don't know exactly what happened. We're still a little bit in the dark.
Correct.
And once you do that bloodletting, that's a little difficult to get over, because it becomes highly emotional. Then, of course, you can't ban, in this day and age, it's going to, let's not get into it.
I think it just makes you happy to kind of see the maturity of the country.
Well, they start burning the ministers and all.
Our maturity.
Oh, our
I meant
maturity. Yeah.
India's maturity, where India has been, all the stuff we have evolved in. Where it's a complicated place.
Yeah.
It's a,
So let's put it this way: there are positives in India, no doubt, but let's not glorify us to such an extent, because there's lots of
it's a work in
improvement.
progress.
A work in progress in lots of areas where crime and
my
disparity is unbelievable,
my
like where we live.
contention is that has to hopefully come from the public.
I still think if you ask our neighbors where would they want to live, and I'm not saying this like a jingoist patriot or something, I think everyone would say India.
Correct.
Okay. In fact, the Nepalese kids are all talking about why didn't we have a government like the Indian government, etc., etc. Which is, it strangely tells you that, guys, when you're abusing your own country, just look around and just see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as you think.
I used to only come, get super irritated watching cricket games at India. Just frustrated as to why I followed this team in the early 90s. How did your love affair with kind of cricket start?
No, cricket and dogs are the only thing I remember from childhood. You take these two things away from me, my life is over. It's a horrible thing to think about. But so crazy. My dad was very fond of the Australian 1948 team, Bradman's Invincibles. So I have a huge sense of history of cricket. In fact, I think I like the older stories better. Almost like contemporary cricket, there's only so much I can take, white ball. We thought 50 overs was bad enough. Then they got this, and there's a T10, and they drop 6-a-side, 6-over game has come up, and whatever. But yeah, so you invest a lot in a team, and then that becomes a problem. But not really. You win some, you lose some, and now we win a lot more. So I think you can't complain. But when I was growing up, it was tough. But we were the 83 World Cup guys, right? And I was 11 years old. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the world changed. The world changed for my whole generation. And that's why they'll always be the heroes, all those guys.
Have you had a chance to meet the team? Or
I have actually done a function in Dubai of 25 years of 83 or 35 years older. What the hell was it? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so I met all of them. I think one or two were missing, but most of them were there. And they all spoke, and they were very emotional. And we drove to the venue and back, and in the hotel met some of them. And yeah, it was just... But once you're older... you got to talk in a normal way, and some of them know who you are and all that. So it's a little different. But they're still in your eyes. You go back in the hotel room and you think, oh, Sandeep Patil, give me a hug. It's like that, You're still a little boy in your head. But
what's the rule in cricket you'd change?
Well, I'd change a lot. I would allow 3 bouncers in over to begin with in red ball. I think, look at the scores in England. Yes, it's ridiculous. Flat wickets. England wickets are supposed to move, the ball, seam, swing, everything. And I want more bouncers. I want that because sports must have balance. We discussed offline Manchester United. I have to split.
I'm gonna hope that this is not just water.
You went to, again, when I was a young man, it was an invincible team, and all my friends followed Man U and Man U this, Man U that. It's the only 2 words Chinese people knew: Manchester United. And let's face it, it's been a horrible last few years, and not looking good in this season as well. So the thing about sport
XG is epic.
Yeah, but we need balance is what I'm saying. So if only Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal, in EPL, just 3 or 4, you need about 10 teams to be right up there so that you have a real contest. The same thing with cricket. The bat and ball has to have a contest. We're shooting this after the first Asia Cup match of India where we chased 57 in a T20. Come on, guys, really? But
on that, again,
so that's a bit of that disparity in the performance is a bit of a problem.
But on English pitches,
there should have been. They've broken all kinds of records. The ball did nothing. They made runs. We made runs.
Was that in so many ways when we were growing up, or I was growing up, and you were
the toughest place to bat?
Isn't that a reflection on how good our bowling is?
No, it's how flat the wickets have become.
But that they didn't feel confident enough to give us the pitches where the ball would move.
That's a good point. But
because we never had fast bowlers.
But if you really read the coaches, what's his name? Baz McCullum. My memory is just fading. I just call everybody Bunty now. So just remember what Bunty was saying. Bunty has tried to create this flat track because they'll out-bat everyone.
Correct.
The whole idea is we'll bat fourth and win matches in test matches. And that's it. So it's a whole different philosophy where batting fourth would be the most precious situation to be in. I don't agree with it at all. It's okay, you play cricket that way, and then you couldn't. A 2-all for me is a victory for India. 2-all in their home.
With that team,
because we went to England. England should have done better.
Correct.
A 2-all for me, we won.
Correct.
And honestly, we could have even won 3-1, but we won't get into that. Yeah. No, they were 2 close test matches.
We were there.
Yeah, exactly.
We were there. Why are we finding it harder to win with Bumrah than without Bumrah?
We actually won without Bumrah, the 2 test matches.
That's what I'm saying. We're finding it harder
But I think that's just a coincidence, people shouldn't say that. The guy's unbelievable.
Oh, he's the best.
For me...
Is he India's best ever cricketer?
India's cricketer is a tough one. For me, Sunny is still number one because of the conditions and the time and where India was. Because you have one guy.
Is he on the Mount Rushmore?
100%. Kapil Dev and Sunny are untouchable for me because I think they were way ahead. And they were punching back, right? You had the mighty West Indians, Aussies, Brits, all of them. They were punching back. So let's not just, forget the past in a hurry. I mean, Sachin is Sachin.
Yeah.
You can't take it away. And we don't know how good Vijay Hazare was, how good Vijay Merchant was, 2 tests, 210 tests, but we don't know. I mean, you can't compare eras. It's damn tough. There's so many great talents. Vinu Mankad, people have forgotten. One of the greats of all time. So I don't want to get into that discussion, but Bumrah is right there. For me, watching bowling, fast bowling, I think Wasim Akram, Malcolm Marshall, Curtly Ambrose, Bumrah would be about if I had to choose 5, it would be somewhere there. Maybe Richard Hadley as well.
Did you try and play?
I'm very quick.
Bowling?
Yeah.
Fast bowling?
But I chuck. Democracy, brother. What's there?
There have been bowlers who've made a career.
Did you play?
I am not good at cricket at all.
No?
I love cricket, but I'm not good. So only in my basement.
I was very good at sledging.
Only in my basement.
We played Vinod Kambli's team, Kirti College, when I was young. When Xavier's College, we didn't have 11. I remember we were 10. So Saumil Kulkarni, we were calling and this Mohammed Singh Soya. So I said, wake him up. We need one more guy. So we had to take batting because Saumil came late to make 11. And then I think we made like 40 runs or something. And then
how many?
I mean, most of it was because his cross Maidan would just go beyond the wicketkeeper for 5 byes and 4 byes and all that. So after that was over, they came into bat, and it was amazing. It was over in about 3 or 4 overs, but I stood at silly point for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
I like just stand then abuse, not abuse as in bad language, but say, "Chalo, chalo, theek hai, kuch pata nahi, and all that."
Would you have? Was that the preference? Was that the first choice career?
Cricket?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You ask anyone, anywhere in the world, whatever the sport of that country is, which guy is going to say no? I mean, if I could have been Virat Kohli, I mean, also, Kapil Dev.
But you're fit now, speaking of Virat Kohli. What's the...
The fitness is relative. I just like to weight train. I'm a bit of an idiot. I just like to hit weights.
But is that level of discipline easier now than it was maybe...
So, we used to do a show called Love Line, which I mentioned 10 times with the beautiful Malaika and then Sophie as well. And so we had a psychiatrist, because we used to get these letters. And the letters was way above my pay grade, because occasionally there'd be letters written in blood and things like that. Because people, the people are lonely. And in fact, most people are more comfortable talking about love and sex and all with strangers. Nobody wants to talk with their people. So they would call us with these strange things, and we'd call them back and then shoot the call and all that. And they were asking questions beyond our... So we got a psychiatrist, Dr. Anjali on, and she was very sweet, whatever. So in between, I would chat with her. I used to drink a lot on the weekends. So then she explained to me, we discussed my life and all that, free. That's the best thing, is to get a psychiatrist. But always they charge too much, bro. That's another
Next
problem.
podcast?
Oof, yeah, my God. No, so she pointed out that I'm an extreme personality. So she said, if you're an extreme personality, it's actually a very simple fix. Extreme personalities can be very orthodox or very unorthodox. They can't be in the middle. So you're not the guy who can have 4 drinks and behave well and go home. You're the guy who's going to get drunk and misbehave and black out and all that. So you can go to 0. You're the guy who can also not drink at all. So you have to just go there. So I agreed with her. Maybe she's right, maybe she's wrong. I don't know. But then it worked out fine. So I've just become a really boring person. I have no friends. I have no pants. If no friends, why do you have pants?
The pants thing, I think we'll just shoot up. So we should be okay.
Yeah. The table's lovely.
The friends things, again, we have a lot of people here. So
I'll borrow a couple. When do I return them? Weekend? Weekends are horrible.
You can keep them.
When I stopped drinking in 2015, Friday night was my big thing from the 90s. So I'd get this recall, this Friday evening recall.
Like the
guys would call, where we going, bro, blah, blah, all that usually on the landline in the old days and then whatever. So it took us some time to get that feeling out, That was a horrible feeling for a few hours.
Does that harm your comedy?
Sorry?
Does that harm your comedy?
My comedy standard is very low, as you can tell. So the word can harm it.
We've been laughing.
We're like comic midgets. Is that fair to say? You're ducking the bouncers now. You don't want to get involved.
No, I'm happy to get. I'm happy to get involved.
No,
does it harm the comedy?
Not drinking.
Not drinking.
Not going out.
But
I socialize. I've got 20 friends here at the moment. The gym, there are people. When I eat breakfast, there are people. In the lane, there are people. Up till 7:38, there are people. And when I have to do events, I have to meet people.
Correct.
But then Red Bull Zindabad. I'm sorry, I shouldn't give them a plug.
No, that's
Bull
fine.
Something.
Again, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, in your experience, do people get less interesting when you're sober?
I think I lived this very shallow life for a long time. I'm not saying I'm now a great man or something, but you're happy to see everyone when you're drunk, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's really, come on, it's absolutely, there's a lot of pretense going on. Hey, Rajiv, bro, where have you been? I mean, you've seen
correct.
last evening, I mean,
Okay.
there's no point to it.
Yeah.
All that shit would go on, and then every woman I would fall in love with, I mean, after some time, you become the creepy uncle. As a young boy, it's all okay, yeah, Broacha, he likes girls.
Yeah.
And then Broacha, he likes Uncle Broacha, and grandfather, Dadaji, uske piche mat ja. Sorry, excuse my French.
So
Yeah.
I
But that's what happens.
I was
So I have to get out before they arrest me, bro. It's embarrassing. My daughter's 18, my son is 22. I don't want to be in the bar with them.
did that change you?
What, the bar?
The children?
Actually, my daughter played a very big part because I used to, when I was very young, I'd grown up a lot of Western classical music. So I'd come back and I'd sing like operatic arias and all that in the middle of the room at 2 in the morning, and my parents would come out and they'd be, how sweet, Apro Cyrus, and all that's great. And then as you get older, it's ridiculous. That's one story that I'll never forget. In my 30s, I love Elvis. So I used to have an Elvis tie. So some fancy party, so I wore the tie. And my dad used to walk my German Shepherd in the morning. And he was walking with the dog, and then the dog is smelling up like that in the lane and behaving very odd. And then he's also like, what's going on? Because normally this shouldn't happen. And then he sees the tie on an ambassador car aerial. I don't know if you remember the ambassador car, the big car. Because they have those things, and the tie is there. So my dad got worried, like, what happened to my son? Because he'd never leave his Elvis tie. And then the dog found me on top of the car fast asleep in the lane with just my pant. Well, no, I'm saying so. I've done some readings because you black out of sometimes. You got that line where you just drink too much. That's what happened.
And in this process,
bro, now I feel like you're my shrink. Should I lie down?
Not qualified though. In the process, as you've kind of made these decisions, you've kind of seen a lot of us grow. You've kind of seen India grow because you've had a view of the evolution of VJs and movies.
Narasimha Rao, globalization.
Yeah.
Don't forget him.
Do you think kind of this is a more enjoyable time for you in terms of where the city is, in terms of where the country is, in terms of what you get to do?
I don't try to get judgmental about all these things. I think there's always a time for everything. The 80s has its own romance. When you come back to Mumbai, fancy Mumbai with the coastal roads or whatever, isn't that lovely paradoxical feeling where you see those blue tarpaulin thingies on the slums and you're home?
Yeah.
And yet you hate that? It's an amazing city because you hate it and love it at the same time. I sometimes think that's life. It's just, there's no way out. It's never going to be white.
I love Bombay.
I do, but I also hate it. I live in Malabar Hill, right next to the chief minister. So every day they make us wait. Well, some great Saab drives by with 200. Why do they have an ambulance at the end? Do they expect death?
I think
dengue.
No,
What? Give me something.
I think in general, there is a level of importance that all of us are giving each other.
Yeah, but do we need 40 cars and 16 bikes and 200 people following some guy? What a waste of money, no?
Because
invest in my new thing.
What's your new thing?
Nothing. I haven't thought of it yet. They get the money. My startup starts with the funding. At the simultaneous.
Power is incredibly easy to get used to.
Yeah.
So I heard you've been pitching for a Rajya Sabha seat right here.
I want.
So will you?
I heard the food is great. Yeah.
Will you get I have never had a chance to eat at.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I've heard. Spoken to a couple.
Will you keep the ambulance when someone nominates you?
No, I would get rid of all this. Yeah. I feel very emasculated if I have bodyguards, and I don't know what man feels manly about it. It's not about fit. It's about your mind. I'm like, why do you want someone to cover you with 200 guns and all that? What the hell? Carry a nunchaku like Bruce Lee and walk around.
Yeah.
It's biggie. I will buy the nunchaku for members of parliament who are willing to take this risk. And we have a lot of Parsis who are sensais who will help them learn either karate, kung fu, taekwondo, slightly more dancey.
Is there a lot of martial arts in when you were growing up?
There was. It was huge.
Did you
right up to my son being a young kid, we put him in karate, and he thought he was going to be the greatest ever.
Did you do any martial arts?
I did a thing called Ketsugo, which is 4 things together: Aikido, Taekwondo, Karate, and Savate, whatever they are. So I did for some time.
I did karate.
But there was no contact. I wanted contact. So I was psycho. And it was all like dancing at the end, because the fighting, dancing and fighting are two different things, It's almost like, so you're the fighting dancer. So you're very good at if there's no fight. Like, guys, let me show you how to fight if there's no fight. But if there's a fight, you're the guy who wants to, I just want to do like this.
Everybody's good at boxing till you get punched in the face.
In the face. Mike Tyson. So we have the same books, is it? Why do we have marbles here?
I actually have a bunch of games here because the idea was that...
Did they tell you I'm 9?
No, I am.
What's the marble story?
So we have the chess there. I keep it really far away from the guests.
I used to be good at chess, but now I just keep losing to every. My daughter started beating me, and that's when I stopped.
Correct. So the thing is, everybody's really into chess. Chess is having a moment.
Yeah. Oh, I love chess.
I am extremely petrified that if I keep the chess on the table,
you'll start playing.
People will start playing, and
bring down the program.
And
it'll be like
which is
it's action packed in that sense.
I don't think the quietness is an issue. I think we consistently.
But you play that rapid style and all, but that's a whole different game. I'm old fashioned, but you take 45 minutes per turn.
The only reason I prefer rapid and blitz is because I can lose very quickly.
Yeah, but then you can again, it's white ball, red ball, bro.
You don't
the
like
nuances. It's not. I don't like it. I'll watch it. But at the end of the day, I mean, England series, even though wickets were flat, was so much more gripping. Yeah? But the BGT was one of the best series I've ever seen.
Which, the one we won or
the one we lost and the one we won? I just like those wickets. I just feel they're sporting wickets.
Did you not think that the one we lost, we were the best? We should have been.
Oh, there were very close moments, but that's the beauty of red ball cricket, right?
We just didn't have the.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like the separation was in that last 4%, 5%.
But isn't it always good to have a little bit of ice cream and popcorn? At some point, like
I'm not against white ball cricket. My worry is that white ball cricket has dominated so much that red ball cricket is getting pushed off the map. Okay, firstly, 50 overs is the first casualty of that. Okay, there's no context to it. Nobody wants to know what's happening. I mean, they're going to play 3 games. It's almost like a good night Irene for Virat and Rohit.
The way I look at it is T20s effectively made it 100% a profession.
Yeah, but
like
the cricket Brahmin in me, I get very irritated because I have to discuss it with people who don't really like cricket. Because they'll watch the IPL and give me some 5-second conversation. I mean, I just get irritated. I have a lot of arrogance there, when
the IPL
how
is a
dare
TV
you?
Show, but it's based on American sport.
Mandira started this. So look, again, exactly what we've been talking throughout this program. So there's a lot of good coming, but with the good, you have to accept that, it's like anabolics or something. There's side effects.
Correct.
So we've got this IPL boom and this T20 boom across the world. It's helping the other countries. So UAE, Oman are playing, etc., and further. Do you know Japan has a team and apparently and Nepal has a good team but didn't qualify. Netherlands.
The one thing I love about the Dutch team is that it's all locals
and they smoke and play. No.
They play pretty well.
Maybe after.
Maybe after.
But so I mean, it's there. We can't. It's the mammoth, behemoth, whatever you want to call it. It's there. It's here to stay.
It's the only way Test cricket survives.
See, it's a tough thing for people to watch. You've got to have time to watch these many hours or whatever. The point is, once you get into the game, say it's a Saturday and you have the time. I mean, it's some of the best moments, because
both the BGT and
good Test cricket between these 4 or 5 countries that are left playing good Test cricket. Although West Indies beat Pakistan in Pakistan, it was 1-1. So when they come here now in October, I want to see if their spinners are. They got this Warikon and this Gukesh Moite.
And again, our pitches, you hope, are a little.
But we struggled against New Zealand, against Ejaz Patel. So
lost.
It's not that, it's our batting against spin.
Can we play spin anymore?
Can we play spin? Can this generation play spin? Because we're just playing white ball.
And we're hitting it.
And we're just hitting it.
Can you So Sunil Gavaskar had this really interesting thing when I was growing up. I mean, I'm sure he says it still, but he used to say that facing fast bowling is about courage.
Yeah.
Facing spin bowling is about technique.
Absolutely.
And that always kind of...
And they could read. I remember as a young man trying to read, especially leg spinners. Can you read the googly? Can you read the leg break? Can you read the flipper?
Lakshman hitting Vaughan with the turn, cover drive.
I think why Vaughan's greatness can ever be questioned is India. Because 1 to 7, there was no problem. And then he goes and plays against any other team and South Africa or something, they have no idea.
No, that was unfair though.
Yeah. That's a horrible comparison. But Navjot Singh Sidhu was the one who started the first ball he bowled in that particular series, if I remember. First ball went over mid on for 6, long on for 6.
Do you like watching cricket live?
Not anymore. I watched that last game which we lost in Bombay because we were shooting it. And we thought we'd go on at least we were chasing about 150 to win the test against New Zealand. And it was amazing how jingoistic our crowd was. Come on, India! Rishabh Pant was hitting a little bit and there was still a chance. And suddenly they were 8 down and there were 40 runs to get and all. It was over. And then we started abusing the cricketers within 5 minutes.
Isn't that a Wankhede thing?
It's a Wankhede thing. You're right. And by the way, it's people like us. I was in the stand where the so-called...
I've been in the stand where we've been insulting the Indian cricketers in the IPL. It's a very...
And I was suddenly... what's wrong with us, bro? Why are we so bad? It's just a game. They're trying their best. They lost. You got to now clap for New Zealand. That never happened.
If there's any team we could have lost to, I love losing to New Zealand.
What a good team. Everybody likes New Zealand.
They play well.
Yeah. Well behaved.
They keep
no tantrums. They're probably not well known in New Zealand.
They have the...
I
They
mean,
have-
Kane Williamson is the kind of guy like
They have the population of Andheri, and they
5 million.
It's I have I
A quality country because in sport they're very good. They're decent in football. They're great
Rugby.
in rugby, number one almost
Yeah.
all the time. And cricket, they're right up there, 3-4 top 4 teams, 5 teams.
It's my favorite country to lose a cricket game to.
Yeah, it's also a lovely country. I haven't been there. Have you been there?
Because New Zealand,
Yeah.
when I was very young.
Oh. We're trying to migrate.
Went
Which government?
I
Sable.
I don't think the Indians are welcome in a lot of other countries at the moment. So I think this is
No, that's just the one country. Which other? Canada?
Australia had the riots, Canada had it, America's not.
Australia wants us.
I think we need
Australia
to,
has a lot of love for Australia, India now. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a problem.
I think we need to fix where we are.
Bro, they need IT, they need doctors,
Everybody needs.
they need
doctors.
startups,
Nurses.
they need comedians.
No.
Nurses, nurses are huge, bro. Don't joke about nurses,
Have you had a chance to see any of the younger comedians?
I worked with them on my podcast on Prime Time. I can't do nights. It's a real pain. I mean, I asked them, will you pay me to come?
Yeah.
Because
No.
otherwise I just can't bear the night. I just dying at 6, 7. So many times they've come and watched my show, this, that, and the other. The female comedians have come up with a big
Yeah.
pack of names now. Some from Delhi, Calcutta, etc. So there's just too many. But if they did morning comedy, I would go.
What's
I don't
your
have a
day
problem.
like?
I get up at 4. Then I walk my dogs. Then I get ready. I make my drinks. Drinks as in pre-workouts and all that. I know it sounded wrong. Drinking at 4. Hey, Raju, Pilado. It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I go to the gym. Then from there, I leave.
I mean, a lot of drinking used to happen at 4, I'm sure.
Yeah. The end. Yeah. God, what lives we led, I mean, so many times we've gone home at 8 in the morning and all that.
Sunrise.
After
That's
breakfast.
the only way we used to see sunrise was post.
Yeah.
It's
So
different once you have
I'm a little
kids.
scared, but kids are of that age now. One is in Canada, one is in Spain.
You have to let them.
There's nothing we can do. We just hope that they follow on my wife more. Yeah.
So I was seeing a lot of your podcasts to prepare for this, to kind of get in the zone, and it's really funny because I think some of your highest viewed episodes are the Valentine Day episodes.
Yeah, well, I don't know with her why we get such views, even in Insta.
But invariably, the number one comment is just wondering how Aisha has survived.
Well, she gets trolled a lot also. She gets upset after some time. She reads all that. I've never read it, so I don't know.
And I connected because when you talk, she has the look.
Yeah.
And to me, it's exactly like looking at my wife talk.
Yeah.
And she has that ability to zone out.
Okay.
And that's what my wife does. Maybe 45 seconds into me talking, it's such a.
Because they live with you, no? So obviously they've read the
They've
book.
heard
There's
the
nothing.
stories.
Yeah. Come on.
So I found that very connecting because those episodes, and I think that's why those episodes do so well.
No, but even on Insta, we do these silly things. They get millions of views sometimes, and I get some famous name. I get like 30,000 views. It's like I don't know.
Because I think the whole medium is to get a connection, right? I don't think the medium was to listen to famous people. You get to listen to.
We're learning that now. Don't waste your time trying to get some name.
In so many ways, because the episodes that I fell in love with, or the reason I fell in love with podcasting, was all the people I had never heard of.
Okay.
True. Or all the people I get to listen to that I had, like I was telling you, Prahlad was on the podcast.
Yeah.
But when I was, when I got to hear him talk with you for the 900 hours that you all did, I had never heard him speak, but I had seen all the ads.
I think we did a show in Authors Club for his book as well. I think people praleft. He just wouldn't stop talking. And Prahlad's answers are, I mean, unbelievable. 15 minutes. You ask him, which is your favorite color? 20-minute answer. Yeah. It's like that.
But I think that to me is the reason the medium exists, right? Is that...
So you get these real moments.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about. Whoever the person is, because they're just being themselves. That's the best. Honestly, that's the best. And I think viewers like that the most.
Correct.
The real connect. There's some real moments that happen. And what can you do?
And so like for me, that was the connecting part to your podcast, which is that I have seen that look. I have been on the other end of that look. Which is why, she never comes for any of the...
So we did one podcast where your wife doesn't attend this.
I don't think she's
deliberately.
Seen any. I don't think she's seen any on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She claims she has, but I think it's those shorts.
The shorts, everybody gets away with
it.
Family members get away with that. Because if you quiz them, they'll be like, this. Done. That's why it's there. But I asked her to give me 1 hour, 8 minutes was the entire episode. I asked her throughout, just give me 3 qualities of myself that you like. I mean, how hard can that be? She couldn't get one.
I've been throwing my son in the air. He's 2.
Stop.
and catching
Michael Jackson, behave yourself.
No, just in the house under adult supervision.
Yeah, something wrong.
Yeah.
If taken out of context, they fast forward and come to this line. People are
Just
like, "What is wrong with these
that
psychos?"
shot.
Yeah,
Just that
I
shot.
should return. I've been throwing my daughter.
So
it's a new game.
So I have and I have a daughter. So it's 2 versus 2 at
How
the
old
moment.
are they?
8 and 2.
8 and 2. Who are you throwing in the air?
The 2-year-old.
Okay.
The 8-year-old is a gymnast.
Yeah.
So
also be tougher to throw.
She does her own thing. So I am getting a little bit of love from the boy. So it's 2 versus 2 for the moment.
Has he identified? I mean, 2. I mean,
exactly. So I'm taking it. I'm taking all the wins.
You're owning this, but
I'm taking all the wins.
But
that
here's
I can
what
get.
I wouldn't advise anyone. But what I notice is that first couple of years, 2-3 years, the mother plays a much more important role. You're basically cleaning up a lot and doing duty when she needs to rest and all that. But later on, the modern father is like, he can't escape this,
I don't want to escape it.
Yeah, it's great fun.
I think a lot of the reasons that my dad worked hard and the people of the other generation work hard is that we can do.
Some fathers can be.
Some of the
role has changed.
Stuff.
The conventional father of the 90s is gone and all that. But the thing is, the son and the daughter dynamic is very different. In my not to say one is better than the other, but very different. Yeah. So it's one, the boy is more like he idolizes you and then he wants to defeat you. It's more like that feeling. Then maybe he comes back to you as he ages. The female actually is I find more altruistic and almost becomes like a mother figure as she gets older. To the father. I know it sounds ridiculous.
No. But it's sort of because true. Mine is, and I know you get the same complaint again. It's really funny, some of these podcasts, because of my research, I know the guest a little bit more than
it's scary.
Then they know
it's
me.
It's almost like a stalker. I do no research. I didn't even know where I was coming. I went to the wrong media house.
You didn't. You stopped outside the salon outside.
A unisex salon. Yeah. I was wondering now, what does that mean?
It's how all of us grew up. Unisex.
Can you imagine? When the world wasn't woke.
But so I'm on my phone a lot. Unhealthily so. So Saisha is my daughter. She comes in all the time saying, "Papa, this is not good for you. You're on the pot a lot. You're
so it's already started.
Phone a lot. Why are you doing
But
this?"
they're correcting you in a nice way. They won't correct you in a way where you feel demeaned or diminished.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that'll go on. I presume that'll go on right into adulthood. And then that will be the dynamic. You're the father, she's the daughter, but she's sort of really, protecting you. It's hilarious, actually.
Which is as you kind of go on your journey, are you comfortable with them going on theirs?
Oh, I miss them a lot, bro. I got no friends left. I got rid of all of them. They were like mutual funds that didn't mature. Just had them from childhood and gone now. But I'm very close to my daughter and to my son. He's far away in Canada, but he probably will come back in Feb. But I've been really close to my daughter for the last 3-4 years, especially. So she's just left for Spain and
to study or
to study IE University.
Lovely, yeah,
very nice place. But my wife's there at the moment.
That's where I had applied for my masters. I ended up in Colombia, but that was my second option.
Wow!
So I've done some research on IE.
So I won't get into that. It's a long story how we landed up there. But to cut a long story short again, so she's there and then I'm feeling because we used to work out in the morning. By the way, 5 in the morning, she'd be up under 5 and be with me in the gym, even on exam days and everything. It's been very tough like that. So I suddenly found like a buddy, absolute buddy is willing to be as extreme as I am. And now when I make my drink in the morning, I don't make her drink. All these little sense memories. I'm almost like crying every morning. This is ridiculous. So I have to just snap out of it. So if you have any medication on this program,
mine are 8 and 2. So a lot of my effort is trying to get them into their room.
Yeah. Do you enjoy all this? Because one day they're going to go somewhere. Yeah.
So that's one of the, and again, we've been everywhere. One of the things that gets me every time is every once in a while I'll get that quote, just enjoy because you won't know when is the last time they sleep in your bed, when is the last time you lift them up.
Don't tear me up now.
When is the last, so that...
really, just, you got to hold on to these moments.
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't want them to grow up.
I'm gonna.
Guys, can we stunt our kids and just keep them in a box?
That's
overnight?
Why you have some dogs, no?
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing about dogs, they die too soon. Why can humans die faster and dogs live longer? That's my first complaint when I go to hell. I'm presuming I won't make heaven. Never got parking in South Mumbai, so clearly hell. Oh, what a place to live, really.
Is there any Bakra you didn't get to do? Because of a lack of money or...
No, there are lots of Bakras. Oh, if you had more money, we'd have done more upscale.
Well, what is the stuff you guys would have done?
So, like, we put a toilet on the road, for example, in Nariman, in Cuff Parade. I would have done a much better job, We could have made it really... We could have put a proper toilet, which is open.
Uh-huh.
We got good reactions anyway, but I think I would have loved to have a really fantastic throne, with special
Did
buttons
people use
and
it?
instructions. Nobody used it in the sense of actually peeing,
Yeah.
but they came, they inspected it, they touched it, they looked in, they called their friend. I was just very curious. It was fun. And then we were looking around to see why the toilet was here. They would even ask people, so that was fun. But there have been some gags which we couldn't air.
You want to give us some without names?
No, without names. So there was a guy in a cola executive, vice president of a famous cola company. Can't remember whether it was Coke or Pepsi. There was no Campa. And so the gag was on him by his friends who owned a restaurant in town.
Yeah.
And it was great because he likes the girls and nobody's married, but everybody likes the girls, right? But there's a line. You send two hot models to the table because he has lunch here every day. And he sits alone, and then the boss, who's his friend, comes and sits with him. But we'll just send the models, and the boss will disappear. And the whole plan was great. So we made sure the thing was packed with our people, and then put the cameras everywhere, including a top shot. And he sat there and was on the phone asking his pal, "Where are you?" etc. Because they would lunch together. And so he was hiding, and I'll be there in half an hour, whatever. The two models come, very hot-looking young girls. They come and they say, "Sir, do you mind? There's no place. Can we sit here?" I was very happy. So then the first question he asks is, "So what do you guys do?" So one of the girls says, "We are models." So he takes off his ring. Again, the top shot gets it. Just very subtly. Just look at me. He's like that. Oh, okay. And he takes it off and he puts it in his pocket like that. And thought no one. But the top shot saw that beautifully. I could just play that in loop, for people. And then he went berserk. In a very sweet way. It was not like, dirty or.
He was peacocking.
Yeah, he spoke in a charming way. It was charming. But he was coming on.
Yeah.
Whatever. Alibag, I have a house, we should go party. In the course of a 1 hour conversation, And so he basically wanted them to come and hang out with him on the weekend for a day, etc., etc. And nobody thought it through. Great gag, we loved it. The boss comes in to his friend and they embrace and, "Man, what have you done? You screwed me." 1 hour later, he calls us up and says, "Bro, how can you wear that? My parents will see it in Chandigarh. My wife's parents will see it in this thing. I can't. Sorry, we can't." Then the boss called his friend and said, "Bro, he can't air it. My parents will see it. What have I done to my friend?" Nobody thought it through. But that's the price you pay as you go up the class of society.
And did you guys then were you very cognizant of the people that were getting punked and all?
No, see, we got a lot of flack that, it was like rich urban kids in a channel taking on Aam Aadmi on the road, all that. Because those are the ones that worked and they were happy to be bakrad.
Got it.
Of course, they would say the immortal line, "Pehla kyun nahi bataya?" Which makes no sense when I've explained to them it's candid camera. That's why we don't tell you. Every time I would have to have that. I should just made a thing of that line. Man, it was driving me mad by the end of it. So there was that little social issue that why are we too elitist and we're targeting people. We're targeting them because they're not, punch back.
Yeah.
As in, take action or whatever. So although we got these, towards the end, we got these release forms and all. I don't know what they meant. So we try to, hit people like us, or, so it started looking like a mix of people. Because India is a mix of people. But it's damn tough with our class of society because then suddenly they have more to lose.
Yeah.
No, don't air this guy, I won't look good. So we had to pull back a lot, including one other corporate gag that we did, which is a huge gag, where the guy takes a bribe. The boss has done it. Here in Lower Parel somewhere. Yeah. The boss organized everything. He says creative. We just executed it. And then in the end, he said, "How can I show it? He'll never get a job," and this and that. But in all that, the guy took the bribe. Okay,
I was just going to say.
I mean, there's a social relevance to what we're doing also. You want to see it that way. But I mean, then you can't do anything.
And sort of next 4, 5, 6 years, you started a new show. What's the process looking like?
Well, we test the waters. We've been off air for 1.5 years after being on air for like 17 almost. You test the waters, see how it goes, get some traction. It's a small market. The TV audience, for saying, is a older audience of maybe 40 plus, 50, 60, 70. So let's see where we go with it, and then we'll see. I'm hoping that we won't get too much flack, so we can write more interestingly in terms of politics and take on issues, etc. But we'll see. I can't say anything, bro. This country is wonderful, as we've mentioned, but we don't know. It's a work in progress. We don't know exactly where we stand, so no one can answer this. With this whole freedom of expression topic, I mean, we can't come to a conclusion. Neither of us. We can't just say.
I don't think there is a conclusion.
No, there's no conclusion. So we have to just test the waters and see. But the whole idea is, I have an apologetic tone because I've been a loser all my life. And so I say sorry in the beginning of the program and at the end. And we've always done that. And with Bakra also, we've always done that. People have hit us and stuff and all. We've never, raised our hands back, because we accept that we're in the wrong. So you have to just swallow your ego, put your head down. And we do the same thing with our comedy. I don't know. I don't want to die on the sword of anything.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a revolutionary. I think those days are gone. Yeah.
And how's the podcast space? Like, is that something that you want to
I mean,
continue?
look at it. I mean, it's a rip-off, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, I mean, if that's your job, I mean, you just sit there in short pants and talk for 20 minutes, which you could do anywhere. So, I mean, you know, but I do get to meet people since I don't socialize a lot.
Yeah.
So I was explaining to somebody else that this is a great social platform for me. So if I shoot with sometimes 3 people in one day or whatever,
Yeah.
like we've had just now, it's
Yeah.
not socializing for me. You know, I need a week off now. I don't want to see another human being. I'll be with plants. Yeah. So there's lots of positives here as well. Nothing to complain about. AC, no makeup.
Yeah.
Wear what you want. Lower body doesn't matter.
No script.
All good. No script. But script is a dead medium, yeah. Do you like scripts?
I don't have any.
Yeah. See, I argue with guys who want to give us scripts and all. I'm saying that why would you want scripts? Because the television retarded itself with the whole script idea, especially in interview format. Because you'd have like a leading anchor with his 10 questions, and you're now talking about law college.
Yeah.
Why should I go back to the price of gold? There's I mean, we're here with the conversation, but you can see it's forced. No, I have to ask my questions. I worked hard all night for these 10 questions. Come on. So I think this is not great. I mean, you find a little about the guy, so you have something in your head, and then you let your subconscious take over at some point. You chat.
No, that's what I said. For me, I enjoy it, and since you were one of the first people to do it in our context, it's just something that I want to appreciate. And
thank you very much, Pioneer again.
Absolutely.
I built so many things nobody talks about. I won't get into it.
So that's why we have the podcast.
Yeah. But there's one more thing that we should touch upon with the whole thing is that talking to strangers or people you don't know for the first time is so much more fun. and familiarity literally breeds contempt.
It does.
I mean, now I don't know who you are, and then now I know who you are, so it's more exciting having this conversation. Correct. The chemistry between us is good. I'm just saying, maybe if we met 10 times, it may not be good. So I really like that fresh...
it's also really difficult to come up with 10 different stories. So the first one is always
But don't you think, if I leave you at an airport and the flight is delayed and something like you bond over the fact that the flight is delayed, you start bitching it out and all, you suddenly have a nice conversation with somebody who'll never meet again.
And I think there's a value to that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you can say stuff, you're free.
You're free.
And I think that's the medium.
Yeah, exactly. And the social contact also happens, so it's much better than just being on the phone, etc. And so also I think the podcast allows us to do that and allows people to chat.
Which
we don't do as much of now.
Which we should.
I mean, these guys here, 8 of them are on the phones. In the 1990s, they'd all be, stuck to listening or interacting more with themselves. Now, and no criticism to anyone. We're not listening anyway, it doesn't matter. But this is the world we live in, right? You see people walking. The other day nearly ran over a lady crossing outside the High Court. What a place to die. She's on the phone and it's on this ear and I'm honking and she doesn't say anything. And then I honk really loudly and she turns around and says, "Ch-" and she walks off. She won. I didn't have a chance.
I think
I'm on the road with the car.
I think the Indian Pedestrian.
I hate the Indian Pedestrian.
Has a force field.
Oh. Absolutely invincible.
That
man.
is,
they kill you. They psych you out, man.
That is so similar to the feeling that the Hulk must have when he walks around.
Absolutely.
Which is that I cannot be touched.
And they haven't been.
And if you touch me, you will not be here anymore. So you have to give credit to the Indian Pedestrian because we don't have too many crosswalks.
No, that's true. That's their side of it.
Yeah.
And when it's there, it's not observed by us, the motorists.
So they've kind of created their own little...
I mean, we've got pavements. Talking again about South Bombay, we've got pavements everywhere still. Nobody's on the pavement. Bombay Gymkhana, we have this huge pavement where they won't let us park. The guy's only walking where I'm parking. I'm like, bro, look at that. 25 feet of friggin' walking. I mean, they defeat you with their logic, no? The guy coming up the one way, what the one-way guy tells me, because I love confrontation with bikers. So I put the window down and say, boss, they say, kya ho gaya? So one way, to kya? Now, how do I answer that? Where do I go with this? I don't know where to go with this. He's right.
The one-way guy in the night that doesn't want to put on his light.
And go at full pace.
That's why you need those lawyers hanging out outside the High Court.
Really. No, and I don't want to attack the delivery boys because we all order from them all the time. And my God, man, they're scary.
It was a different time.
We've done Bakras in lifts. They work very well. You know how awkward a lift is for strangers.
Correct.
You just observe. Everyone tries to find their own space. And it's just very subtle. You don't have to do much.
Especially if you pack one in.
Yeah. You just have a guy coughing in the middle. You watch how people react to that, especially post-pandemic.
I was just going to say, it would have worked way funner.
It's a great box to watch human behavior.
Lift?
The lift. Because I remember we watched all the footage that we weren't going to use, and it's too subtle to put on TV, but it's just great to watch. And the person's alone, everything changes. You don't need to do a
Will we
gag.
ever have
Nose digging, ear digging, letting out some wind, playing with the hair, women adjusting their chest. Everything is there in the mirror.
Will we ever
couldn't
have
air
the
it.
unreleased?
No, we'll got into trouble because people are just,
On that note, I just want to say thank you.